Welcome to Dave Talks Some More, the podcast at the intersection of humor and, Hey, I'm your host, Dave, and together we'll explore a riveting world of mundane topics with unparalleled indifference. So get ready for a riveting journey through,
whatever.
This is Dave Talks Some More.
All right, far out, man. Thanks for joining us. We try to give relationship advice. We try to help people out. We try to make your life a little better. So a little bit of advice this week. If you're cheating, you're looking for a place to take your mistress, someplace new, someplace romantic, we've got a short list of places to not take your girlfriend. It's I had on my, I carry notes over from week to week, and I thought, did we really squeeze everything out of Epstein? And now, last week, and now I'm like, I don't give any interest to that story because that just got completely pushed off of the news page with Coldplay.
One of our listeners reached out to me after our show last week and was wondering what we were doing talking about people having affairs because that was in our show title. Right. I had to explain to him that our show title is often never followed.
Rarely.
Rarely followed. We might get one topic out of there, and then we often digress and diverge. Anyway, so
we can talk about your affairs if you want to.
Well, it seems appropriate today that we can talk about people cheating and having affairs.
Oh my God! It was. If you haven't seen it, then you're the last one in America who hasn't seen it. Where it's just two people at a Coldplay concert, and you know how they kind of have kiss cam. This wasn't kiss cam. This was just them showing random people up on the big screen that they'll have at these outdoor concerts now. And, so they show this couple and, he's holding her from behind and they're just digging the music or whatever. As soon as they realize that they're on the big screen, he's like a German U-boat. Dive, dive, dive. He's getting out of the way as fast as he can. And, she turns around. And so, can't remember what's the name of the Coldplay guy. What's his name?
Chris Martin.
Chris Martin says, well, they're either really embarrassed or they're having an affair. And, of course, the internet does its thing. And they were really shy, but also. And then you saw the apology, which apparently the apology was fake.
There wasn't. Yes, it was a fake apology. Okay. It was a fake apology, which, of course, it was a non-apology apology that blamed Coldplay for violated
his privacy.
His privacy rights, right. So anyway, that was fake. The company, of course, issued a statement. And
I missed the company statement.
Yeah, they issued a statement essentially stating that everyone was put on leave pending an investigation and they take their, company serious and blah, blah, blah. It was a typical corporate speak,
right.
statement.
Right.
Well, so I actually got a lot of reaction on one of my tweets because somebody had posted something really, just silly. They were basically saying, cheating is one thing, having an affair is one thing, but for them to lose their job is, just totally ridiculous and unnecessary. And I'm like, this isn't about punishing them for a breach of morals or values, although those two are very important.
Although a little bit it is.
It has to do with the fact that he's the CEO having an affair with the head of his human resources. Yeah. And that's what we call sexual harassment in the legal community.
It's not sexual harassment because she was down with it 100%.
Okay, until she's not, and then then it's sexual harassment.
Well, that's called setting up a sexual harassment case.
I understand, but the company looks at it and says,
"Can't have this.
We have major exposure here.
Major exposure.
We have major exposure legally, and if we don't do anything, then we have now created possibly the most toxic workforce in all of corporate America.
Oh, I wouldn't call it toxic. Whatever the opposite of toxic is. I mean, it's a loving and all-embracing. Sure. It's the friendliest work environment ever.
So, I mean, they had no choice but to do what they did. And, of course, he resigned. I saw somewhere, which I think was a pretty credible news report, that he was in the process of negotiating a buyout, basically. So he resigned.
Yeah, so he's out. You know, the criticism that I saw had nothing to do with it's wrong that they're getting such a hard time about it. It's when you get caught on camera doing something, if they had just brassed it out and just kind of acted like, okay, well, we're fine and we're not embarrassed, and the camera would have moved off after 5 or 10 seconds, and nobody would have thought anything of it.
They might have gotten caught.
It would have taken
by someone being there. Oh, I saw him on there. You know, right.
And then there wouldn't be any video proof of it. Maybe.
Well, there wouldn't be a public lashing.
Well, I mean, okay, let's say that you saw somebody on Kiss Cam at some concert, and then you run it back to the guy's wife. And you say, man, I saw your husband. He goes, what are you talking about? I wasn't there. How are you going to prove it? How are you going to recapture Kiss Cam from last night's concert if they just brassed it out?
If I have a friend and I see their spouse on a Kiss Cam,
sure,
I don't need any effing proof. I just tell my friend I saw it and they're going to believe me. Why would I make that up?
Because we know how you are.
No, I'm not that way.
I mean,
and then, of course, it brings up the age-old question, which is, when should you tell and when should you keep your mouth shut?
Oh, that is the question.
You know, because this is a debate.
Yeah, when do you rat out your friend to your other friend who is his spouse?
When do you keep your mouth shut?
Yeah.
Some people have no boundaries, and they believe it's their role to tell anyone and everyone, including the people other than those affected, right?
Dear Facebook, story time.
Yeah, I mean, they're just gossiping away. Right. Then, of course, I think you have to have like 1 degree of Kevin Bacon in order for you to tell someone. And then it may even be closer than that.
Well, no, wait a minute. What do you have some rule of thumb for disclose, don't disclose? Or is it just situational?
I mean, obviously, every situation is going to be different.
Well, that's why you need a rule of thumb that no matter what the situation is, if I apply the rule of thumb, I'll know whether to disclose or not disclose.
I just don't think it can be black and white, though. So, I mean...
there is no rule of thumb.
Well, I just don't think that there's a bright line rule in that situation, because obviously, I mean, you could go and say something and somebody could say, it's none of your effing business. Why are you doing this to me? You know, leave me out of it. And what are you doing gossiping? Blah, blah, blah.
Well, okay. Could a rule of thumb be that as between the two of them, whichever one is more your friend than the other, that decides the
I mean, if you're that compelled, I mean, I have had a situation that didn't involve cheating where I have told a friend of mine, you need to get effing honest about this. And I've just sat down with them.
Where you just confronted them, but did you threaten them and say?
No, I didn't say I'm going to go get honest for you, but I have gone and said, this is not cool. I mean, I'll tell on myself. It's not about cheating, but I did something really uncool, and I had a friend confront me. So this was like, I want to say it's probably at least 35 years ago. I mean, this is like 1990, okay? And I was driving down.
All the witnesses are gone by now.
Well, actually, the witness and my friend that was involved died. Anyway, so Billy was following me.
Literally every time you mention Billy, you have to mention that.
So that's why I said that. I did it for y'all's benefit. So Billy's following me because we're taking my car to the shop, and we're driving down Meadowbrook Road, going west, and we're leaving I-55. And so it's there's a sidewalk that runs down the north side of Meadowbrook Road.
Right.
And it had rained not super recently.
Yeah. I know what you did last summer 35 years ago.
It had rained recently, but the roads were dry, but there was a humongous puddle. Okay. And you've seen it on video, movies,
God,
you know,
no,
and I thought, never in my life will I get another opportunity like this. Here is this lone person walking down the sidewalk.
Sean.
I mean, I've got to be like 21, maybe 22.
Such a jerk move.
I mean, it was a beautiful wall of water. Beautiful wall of water. It was the perfect splash. I mean, just completely covered them. It looked like they were inside the tube riding a wave.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
And so we pull up to the light at State Street, and Billy rolls up next to me.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And I am, I mean, this is pre-cell phone. I'm laughing my ass off, right? I mean, I'm like, I look at him, I'm like, how awesome is that? And he was like, you effing motherfucker. I mean, he was so mad at me. He was like, how could you do that? What an asshole. Of course, then it was like, oh, man. I mean, I felt this big.
It was like, how can two completely opposite things be true at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I felt really small. I've never done anything like that again. And I should not.
What a jerk move. Man.
I should not have done it. You know, I mean, of course, now, if anyone is out there and got hit by a wall of water in 1990 on Meadowbrook Road, I apologize. I was wrong.
Yeah, I remember in Houston, it wasn't me, thank God, but I remember just sitting at a red light and it was raining and these kids are walking to school and, you know, on the left-hand side to them, the left-hand side of the sidewalk is the street. Can't really walk in the street. And somebody had built a chain link fence right on the sidewalk. So they got no choice, but I mean, they're a captive audience, just like you said, giant pool of water, and it's a line of kids, and this guy just wiped them all out. And after he wiped them all out, everybody else behind him was like, well, hell, I mean, they're not going to get any wetter.
Have you seen there's a great video that I saw a couple of weeks ago on Twitter or Instagram or somewhere, some reel, and it was three dudes. It was raining. But they were sitting on the side of the road in, like, you know, the little fold-out baseball chairs or whatever. Yeah. And they're sitting on the side of the road, and they're drinking beer, and they've got signs that are like, please splash us.
Yeah.
And of course, some cars don't. But then other cars were
only because they didn't see the sign.
Or, you know, I don't know. But most cars obliged. And, of course, they were super happy.
Right.
And I thought, I mean, it brought so much joy to me, and I thought, I need to do that.
This is the happy side of drinking.
No, I mean, I don't need to go drinking and do that. I just need to find a puddle at some point in time and go do that and pay my penance for splashing this stranger.
There you go.
Anyway, but back to the point of the story, which was, so I do think sometimes it's important to friends that you are close with, that you love, to tell them what you know, what's wrong and what's not okay.
But I'm not going to do anything about it. If you don't fix it, I'm not going to do anything about it, but shame on you. That's pretty much the takeaway.
Well, I don't know so much shame on you. I mean, because look, I mean, there are so many things that I've done in my life. I mean, you know, I just told a story on me doing something stupid, right? That I don't have any basis to, you know, essentially, you know, call someone out and act like I'm better than them or shame them. So I don't think when you do it, when you speak to them, I don't think you know, I don't think you pass on shame. I think you say it in a way that.
Well, I'll put it like this: when it all comes to light, as it seems like it always does, and she finds out that you knew, and you know, it might have been going on for 6 months or a year or whatever, and you knew the whole time, and y'all go to football games or parties or weddings and whatnot, and you sat there and you knew and you didn't tell me, I mean, I can see a lot of people would be pretty mad at you for holding that secret.
Well, honestly, I've been on the other side of that, and I was really pissed at someone.
See, there you go.
For a long time. Now, I've since forgiven them. I've let it go. I've moved on in my life, but it is something that you can certainly have a lot of hard feelings about. Now, so I don't know. You can have people that'll overshare. That it's like they tell you too much information, and it's like, are they really your friend if they're really giving you?
They're enjoying it a little too much.
Well, it's like they're giving you all the really excruciatingly painful details, and it's like, I don't really need to know all of that. It's almost just like, yes, they're what's the German term?
Schadenfreude.
Yeah. They're getting enjoyment from my pain, and so that certainly you don't want to do that. I just think you have to be tactful in how you go about talking to your friend if you were in that role or in that situation. Now, I can tell you this because Sarah and I have had this debate. Sarah's like, you just keep your mouth shut, stay out of it. It's not your business. Yeah. And so I do think that is true all the way to a certain point. And that's why I'm saying originally, like I said, you have to be like 1 degree of Kevin Bacon. You have to be really close to the individual to really go and tell them.
Yeah, I mean, if my best friend is getting cheated on and I find out, I tell him 100%. I mean, to me, that's not even a question.
I've had this discussion in part, not about cheating with your wife, about, like kids. Like if you know that kids are doing something, do you go and tell the other parents what their kid was doing? Where do you draw the line there?
Right.
And of course, that's
great way to lose a friendship.
You absolutely can. Yeah. So there's, that it's that moral dilemma that comes up, and it comes up a lot.
The big question that came to my mind is these people that are having their relationship, they probably did the math on what's the worst thing that can happen on this affair. Like, okay, worst thing that could happen, let's make the list. We could get caught, could be a divorce. They're both married to other people. Potentially could lose our jobs if it really hit the fan, although that's unlikely. There is no way when they were doing the math and making the list of what's the worst thing that could happen that they're going to be internet famous and the butt of
forever.
A billion jokes forever. I mean, that's just,
there's no
way that was on their bingo card.
This meme will live in infamy.
Do
you remember Mr. Wood during COVID? I mean, most people do. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, that didn't ring my bell.
When you would open a news story and it was a hyperlink to a rather large African American who was very endowed. You don't remember all this?
I missed that completely. No.
There's no way.
Y'all are looking at different internet than me.
I mean, no. My kids.
I'm not. No, I'm serious.
My kids knew about it. I mean, everyone. I mean, all of myself and all of our partners. I mean, we used to laugh about it because during COVID there was so much crap going on, and people were sending like news links about wearing masks and getting vaccinated and shutdowns. And so, of course, you'd hit the little news link and then up would pop Mr. Wood and all of his glory. And,
jeez, wow. Some friends you got.
Yeah. And then, of course, it would be like, and sometimes the people in the internet are just so creative. They would make the picture super small. And then,
so that you'd blow it up.
And so you'd have to go blow it up to like look at something, and you just feel like, oh my God, I got hit again.
Yeah.
And so, and guys, but it wasn't just guys. I mean, because my kids were like, Dad, I mean, that's been going around forever. And I'm like, how do y'all know about this? And then, of course, they were like, I mean, it's the internet.
I obviously didn't know about, don't even.
We can't put it up here.
Danny Boy's texting it to me because I'm like, no No way.
Did you send it to him?
Brother? Yeah,
My
he just
doctor sent it to
did. No
me.
way. I'm not falling for that. No, I wasn't thinking about Mr. Wood, obviously. I was thinking about Justine Sacco. Do you remember her?
I do not.
She's,
I probably
she's
do.
Like
I
one
just
of
don't know her
the
name.
she's like one of the early casualties of the internet, where she's got some little Twitter account that's got 20 followers or something. And so she's at an airport. I want to say she was in New York, and she's at the airport, and she puts a little post on Twitter. It says, "Going to Africa. I hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding. I'm white." And which, okay, whatever. And so she gets on the airplane, and now she's flying all the way to Africa. And this is before you would have Wi-Fi on airplanes, which means your phone's on airplane mode before there was such a thing as airplane mode. I mean, your phone's just dead. And the flight to Africa is like, I don't know, 12 hours or whatever it is, a long time. In that 12 hours, that tweet goes crazy, insane viral. Why it's so crazy viral that halfway through the flight, Twitter is ablaze with flight tracker to see where she is, because they know when she lands and opens up her
I've
phone.
just missed this story altogether.
Yeah. And
had you heard of it, Danny?
and there's
How old is this?
Oh, this has got to be 20 years. There was a hashtag.
Is Twitter that old?
Yeah. There was a hashtag, has Justine landed yet? Because everybody wanted to be there when her phone like went live again, and she would have had 20 bazillion messages going, "You're a sorry so and so and so and so, and you're fired."
So she got canceled
and everything else. And so, but what was so entertaining to people about it was she was oblivious. She's just on an airplane flight, and she's oblivious to the fact that her life is exploding in real time, and she has no idea.
Not
just
in a
waiting,
good way.
Yeah, not in a good way. Just waiting for her to land. Has Justine landed yet?
So what happened to Justine?
So she, she went away, and she's actually a CFO at some. I looked it up. She's a CFO at some company now. So apparently she's lived it down. It's like, you remember Steve Bartman, who caught the foul ball at the Cubs game, and just became overnight. This is before the internet. Even,
I know.
And
I remember
just became
Bartman.
Yeah, Steve Bartman just became completely famous for catching a foul ball and allegedly keeping the Cubs from winning the World Series.
Now, I would relate this event in terms of the viral aspect of it to the girl on the plane, Tiffany Gomez. Isn't that her name?
Okay, I missed that.
How in the world have you missed
tell me
it?
the
There's
story.
8
Tell me the
million
story.
memes on it.
Tell me the story.
She's flying on an airplane 2 years ago,
Okay.
and she's got like a blue top on and jeans. Her hair is pulled back, and she flips out and she sees someone imaginary in the aisle, and she starts going, "That mother effer is real." And I mean, flips out. Of course, they carry her off the plane, and she used her little 15 seconds of fame, and she actually became an influencer, kind of like Hawk too, a girl who.
Right. Oh, we miss her, man. It's probably been a whole year that we've.
After her meme coin
after that rug pull that she, I think she gave one interview and then hadn't heard from her since.
I'm assuming she made some money out of that.
Oh, she made some money. She made some.
And she was like, sayonara.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the memes that have come out of the Coldplay concert have just been really good. I the internet really is undefeated. I've been proud of all the people that, the first thing that I saw was at the Philadelphia Phillies game, where they had an actual kiss cam, and, so they show different couples, and you know how that goes. And then at the end, they had the Philly was holding it. There's like a girl Philly, the mascot,
which is new.
Yeah, and so and
Relatively
so
new.
they had that, and that was kind of funny. And then everybody just jumped on the putting people together, holding each other, and then scrambling as soon as they realize they're on camera. So thanks to, I don't even know these people's name that just lost their lives, and at the real Coldplay
Speaking
concert.
of baseball,
but thank you for doing that.
Speaking of baseball, so two things. I know you saw the Acuna throw.
No. Oh yeah. Where he throws out the
I mean
the Yankees
that's
guy
like
at third
Bo
base.
Jackson
Yeah.
level. I mean, really,
Mm.
when Bo threw the
Mhm.
guy out from outfield at home plate.
Yeah.
I mean, Acuna's throw could not have been more. And I'm not. Obviously, it was the Yankees, which I'm a Yankees fan, and the Braves, which I am an anti-Braves fan, and so. But having said that, what an unbelievable throw and play!
Yeah, that's great.
That guy, that was amazing video to watch. If you hadn't seen it, you should go watch it. If you like baseball.
If you're a Braves fan.
Well, no, if you're a baseball, which you accuse me of not being a baseball guy, but I really am, and I love baseball. I played baseball. I coached baseball. I love everything about baseball. But I will say this: talking about greatness, I saw a stat this weekend. I don't know if you've seen it, that shows all of the stats of Shohei Ohtani in both batting, and pitching.
Yeah.
And his
okay.
in his first, I don't know, I forget what it was, his first like 500 something games or whatever, he is better than like Babe Ruth in hitting and better than like Cy Young. I don't know if it was Cy Young, but some great in pitching. And it was just like his numbers are really, I mean, they're really staggering.
Yeah, you just have to wonder how long he will stay uninjured.
I mean, if he stays healthy, I mean, this guy's on a trajectory to be potentially, obviously, a lot goes into that.
The greatest that ever played.
The greatest to ever play.
Yeah.
And, I mean, obviously as a hitter as well as a pitcher. I mean, which you don't really see that anymore. You used to see that many years ago back in the early 1900s, but you don't really see that anymore. I mean, most pitchers can't hit at all. I mean, because they don't hit.
Well, then in the National League, there were some guys that could hit pretty well, but they were not top four of the lineup.
Not
guys.
that are hitting home runs that are just
not like this.
No, I mean, it's
like
really
this.
He's really a freak of nature, honestly.
Yep.
And of course, there was a big Shohei Ohtani joke at the Emmys this past week.
Okay, I missed
that
it.
Talked about him betting. Did you see Shane Gillis was?
Yeah, I mean,
you saw it.
It was okay. Yeah, I forget the joke. I saw the joke, and that's how much I remembered the joke.
Yeah, it just talked about him betting. Blah blah blah. Anyway, it was kind of funny.
So the other couple that got famous over the internet, and this was a little bit longer than a week ago. I wouldn't have brought it up except for our Coldplay people. If the words Eastman Credit Union, Johnson City, Tennessee mean anything to you, then this is old news. But if you happen to be listening to show while you're watching Twitter or cruising through TikTok, you want to look up the Eastman Credit Union in Johnson City, Tennessee, which is a small town close to North Carolina.
I've been there.
I'm probably going to be going there because at the Eastman Credit Union, there's some lady who's working there. She's an executive at the credit union.
Is this like Eastman is a part of Eastman Kodak?
Yeah. It's a big chemical concern on the just as far east Tennessee as you can get before you run into North Carolina. And
there's great raftings in that area.
Yeah, it's a great place to go visit. But anyway, this couple is also making the rounds because the video of she's like an executive, and she has a little office, and the office has a big plate glass window, but it's frosted, and so she thinks that she's safe to have relations with a customer behind the frosted glass, and of course somebody takes a video and you can't exactly see everything, but there's no question about what's going on. So, it's, what can I say, Sean? It's just the biggest, stay safe out there in your extramarital relations because the internet is lurking for you. So that's that between that and the Epstein stuff, we about plowed that field. I wrote down something about Neshoba County Fair, which I've been in Mississippi since summer of 1999, and I have so far managed to never go to that. It just sounds awful. I mean, it starts this coming Friday, the 25th.
Well, see,
it just sounds like hot hell.
I made a reference.
Awful.
I made a reference on July 4th to a number of people, and everyone that I made the reference to laughed. If I would have said it to you, you would not have laughed. And that was when we showed up for Lake Day at the Lake House on July 4th. Kids, wife, everybody. We have friends coming over. We get there, and both of the AC units are out.
Oh,
not working.
Oh, bad times.
Yes. And so we had all the fans, ceiling fans going. We had all the windows open. And it felt like a cabin at the Neshoba County Fair.
Sounds right.
Yes, because none of them have AC, or at least none of the ones I've ever stayed in or hung out in.
Are you enjoying the heat, the pores opening, the sauna experience, or was it freaking miserable? I'm going with freaking miserable. And if you weren't miserable, I bet there are a lot of people there who were miserable. And because that's the same feeling that you get at the fair, why do people do it? I mean, really, why?
Well,
I know people who've gone, they love it. Well, I don't get it.
I mean, the Neshoba County Fair is really about family and friends.
Sure.
I mean, honestly.
Sure.
And it's about getting together and having a good time. I know that when I used to go a bunch, it seemed like every year, before I got sober, and did a lot of drinking there. And there's a lot of gambling that goes on. There's a lot of great food. There's a lot of fun events. Kids have a good time. I mean, it is a lot of fun, and it is something you should do. Now, I remember taking our kids when they were, I don't know, young, and it was miserable because, one, we weren't staying overnight there.
Right.
We were just hanging out at someone's cabin. So we had to park a long way away. It was dusty and dirty, and I mean, you were hot and miserable. I didn't get home till I don't know, whenever, and it was a long, long, draining day. But I've been there where you spend the night and you stay, and it is a lot of fun. It's just like anything you do with family and friends when you get together.
I get it. If you spend the night, you've got a chance, but it never really cools off. I don't know. Maybe I'm just soft, but all the 94 degrees day after day.
Think about it. We're what? I mean, we're not even a full 100 years past the invention of the air conditioner.
Oh, I think we are.
Are we?
Oh, yeah. Air conditioning was invented in the mid-1800s.
Okay. Well, I know that my parents didn't have air conditioning when they were growing up in the 40s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they had they heated their house with steam vents from the floor.
Right.
And they didn't have an AC.
Your point being, people have lived in the heat. Yeah, but the global warming, Sean, that's the difference.
Oh my gosh,
you gonna be okay? Well, okay. All right.
I mean, maybe there was AC in the royalty that you grew up, but most people, it's certainly here in Mississippi, and I'm going to give in to the stereotype. Most people in the 40s and 50s, central air used to be a big thing. I remember in the 60s and early 70s, like this house has, central heat and air,
right?
Which was a big deal. And of course, you go up north and nobody has AC up there.
Yeah.
And I stayed at a house up north a year ago, and there was no AC, a little bitty window unit. And of course, I was talking to your wife about, your Olivia's new apartment that she's going to be living, which is crazy.
Yeah, no AC, high rent, no AC.
That's rent,
great.
No AC. You got to have a window unit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was shocked at really what you get.
Or what you don't get.
What you don't get.
You don't get space. That's mostly what you don't get.
You get no space at all.
So the other two things that happen every July besides the Neshoba County Fair, you got Wimbledon and you've got the Tour de France. Sometimes I'll watch a little bit of Wimbledon. Sometimes I'll watch a little bit of Tour de France. So far this year, I managed to avoid all of it.
The Tour has been wonderful this year. We've watched every stage. I can't get enough of it. The sportsmanship, the competitiveness, the pain, the endurance. I was talking to my wife and my daughter last night about the fact that the number 3 rider in the Tour, a guy named Remco Evenepoel, who finished 3rd last year. He was also in the running for the white jersey. The overall general classification is a yellow jersey, which is, if you don't know what that means, it means you have the lowest time in the whole Tour. And so you get to wear
the race.
You're winning the race. And so the goal is to, after 21 stages, have the lowest time, and you win the overall yellow jersey. Well, they have other jerseys. The green jersey is for the sprinters. The polka dot jersey is for those who can climb the best. You get certain points for that. Then you have the white jersey, and the white jersey is for the riders that are, the best riders under 25. Well, last year, Remco Evenepoel won the white jersey at the end of, the whole Tour. He had the white jersey for being the best rider under 25. Well, and he finished 3rd in the Tour behind Tadej and Jonas Vingegaard. Well, this year the Tour is already gone through the Pyrenees, and the Alps is coming up this week, and they finish in Paris next Sunday. But they were finishing the 3rd day in the Pyrenees, and Remco Evenepoel had been really kind of struggling the first 2 days in the Pyrenees mountains. And he just all of a sudden, yesterday just started dropping off completely and quit. And, everyone was just shocked. And, he pulled over on the side of the road and got in the team car and abandoned the race, and he's out. And I was telling my wife, I was like, if you think that what they're doing is not one of the hardest sports feats in the world, then you just don't know. You just don't have a clue.
Well, then I don't have a clue, because
the fact that the number 3 guy in the world is in so much pain 14 days into the Tour, that's 14 races, and has to quit. I mean, what these guys do is really unbelievable.
I had this conversation, might have been with you, maybe, or I'm wanting to think it was with Show Killer back in the day. Is this really a sport, or is this just an endurance where you just endure agonizing pain, and it's like running in place, only you're cycling in place? I miss the sport of this. It just seems like do something really hard for hour after hour, day after day. But is that a sport? And then we got in this debate of, what makes something a sport?
Really, it's competition.
Yeah, but it's a competition, no doubt about that.
A competition that does involve a physical aspect. But, there is a team aspect to the Tour de France. It's not just the individual. The individual that wins the overall general classification, the yellow jersey, so to speak, they're not winning the Tour if they don't have teammates,
right?
And they have to have the teammates that help them do what they do, and without them, they really have no opportunity to win the Tour. You'll see riders on lesser teams will go and they might be able to win one stage out of the 21 stages, but they don't have teammates on their team that are capable of helping support them. And people don't understand this, but if you are in the front of the pack, you're doing the most work,
right? And
those that are at the end of the pack or the peloton, they're doing the least amount, because there is
wind resistance.
There's aerodynamics, and yes, the wind resistance. It's drafting, if you will, for those people that watch NASCAR and other racing. Drafting is real in cycling, and
right.
You are not having to spend as much energy to keep the same speed and pace as the others. Well, so on the big, for the team, for the people that are competing for the overall classification, their teammates help pull them up the mountain, and then with so many kilometers or so many miles to go.
It's your job to break through. And,
all of a sudden, if you've been just riding the tail of your teammates, and you're fresh, you have good legs, and all of a sudden you explode, and then you take off. Well, you now have an advantage over everyone else, and Tadej Pogačar, who is leading, he's arguably becoming the best ever. And we're currently watching that, which has just been amazing. Second place is a guy named Jonas Vingegaard, and he is having a phenomenal.
I love how you knock these names out.
He's
like
having
these people.
Well, he's having a phenomenal tour. He had a team time trial. What was that, Friday? An unbelievable time. I mean, he finished. I mean, when he finished. He was in the lead by like 30 seconds from the second closest guy. And then the guy right behind him, who's, currently wearing the yellow jersey, Tadej comes by and beats him by 30 seconds. And a time trial is essentially, for those that don't know, essentially everybody rides their own individual race. You start, you have a short distance, and you go as hard as you can for about anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour based on the length of the time trial. But this one was up a mountain with, gradients of, 15% at some places. But anyway, it's been a great week if you like cycling, a lot of dynamics and drama and, crashes and sportsmanship. So
speaking of teammates and drafting, last week we agreed that we were going to go see the F1 movie.
We didn't.
We didn't. I did.
Really?
Yeah. I went to go see it.
Do tell.
Well, it made me think of there are certain movies that the main character is the world that the characters are going to inhabit, that you in the audience, you'll never be there. You'll never know what this is like. And so just the experience of living in this world is the most important character I made a list.
Meaning that F1 in the race in and of itself.
The F1 world, what is it? What is that like? Das Boot, you get to find out what it's like to live in a submarine. Fury, you get to find out a little bit what it's like to live in tank. In The Big Short, you learn a little bit about what it's like to be in the financial industry.
Sex in the City for those
for having sex.
Well, the city was as much of a character.
The city was a character. K2 with mountain climbing. Zero Dark 30 had a lot about the intelligence operations in the world of counterterrorism, which this isn't the world that you might think that it is just reading the newspaper. What is it like to be a CIA operative? And, Rocky didn't tell you a whole lot about boxing, but, Million Dollar Baby kind of did a little bit. Talladega Nights told you everything you need to know about NASCAR, basically.
No, it did not. No, just stop. Stop. Don't go there.
You got that. But what I learned from F1, the movie F1, is that racing is basically managing your tires and causing minor crashes to help your teammate. That's like all the, yeah. Well, no, this is, maybe this is a little bit of
tire wear is very important, no matter whether
Oh my God. I went to the movie today. I've heard people talking about hard tires, soft tires, old tires, new tires.
Well, they have three different types of compounds.
And it was just enough with the tires already. And then apparently the way to win a race is you just start crashing people out at opportune times. And
which
it was
that's a little movie. That's
a little. You think so? Yeah. I mean, it was.
That you see it happen. Maybe once or.
Not
Blue Moon.
Not when Brad Pitt's in your movie. You were going to see some totally intentional car crashes. It was. I was kind of hoping you would have seen it.
I hate that I wasn't able to go this week. It's just work has just been crazy busy, and my daughter came in town this weekend.
Well, it was. I'll give you my review of it, such as it is. it really was two movies. There was the race sequences, which 9 out of 10. I mean, great, edge of your seat stuff, really compelling stuff. I don't think for a second that it captured what it was like to be in the pit crew, in the race car, as an owner. I don't think it captured any of that. But as far as just, this is why you go see movies in the movie theater. I mean, you watch this show on TV, you miss a lot.
Sure.
So race sequences were really good. The rest of the movie, totally forgettable. I mean, I was sitting there and I was thinking, no, really, I was thinking
there wasn't good writing.
Well, I was thinking, I'm going to give a review of this movie in 3 hours. How will I describe the plot of this movie? And I thought, there really isn't a plot to this movie. It's just, they always have to set up, and this is all movies, so I don't think this is a spoiler alert. There's always if you don't win, we're going to end the program. Like, what was that really stupid movie that was set like in the 1920s, and they were doing, not rowboat or kayaking. It was, what do you call crew, where they all, like 5 guys get in a boat and they all rowboat together.
When you said we're going to end the program, I was thinking, I've been rewatching Lost, and you better push the button.
Oh, we're going
the world's going to end if you don't push the button. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's so there's that and this, and then, the rowboat movie, we're going to end the university crew if you don't guys start winning.
Well, Javier Bardem, he plays
the owner of the F1.
Is he the owner or is he the team manager?
Or the
think
CEO? I think he was a CEO. I thought he was the owner. But it was, okay, whatever. And that there's going to be
they had a young driver and an old driver.
And it was, they didn't really try real hard with that.
Did it follow the whole season?
They had no. Well, the answer is no. Like, the movie starts halfway through the F1 season.
Oh, so they're not racing for the overall.
No, I'll give you the
F1
setup.
title.
Since this is the first 15 minutes of the movie, I can set up the so-called plot. Is Javier Bardem comes and finds Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt is this guy who used to be an F1 driver a long time ago. But of course, there was a tragedy, so he got out of it. But he's going to bring him back in as the grizzled veteran. And
I'm liking the plot so far.
And they're halfway through the F1.
Dave, you
season.
are a little bit of a hater.
You want to hear the story?
I do. I want to hear it.
I
want to hear it.
So they're halfway through the F1 season, and
when he's brought on board.
When he's brought on board. And the reason is
some driver had to be fired or got sick or hurt.
No, they came up with something more creative. I'll give them points for that, which was, we've got 9 races to go. And if you have not won a race in 3 years, then you're basically forced to sell the team, which is what made me think he was the owner. I don't know if that's really a rule or not, but for purposes of this movie, they have to win a race in the next 9 races, or else Javier Bardem is going to be bankrupt. And so he brings in Brad Pitt, who of course isn't his first choice. And I won't tell you how the rest of it goes, but so this is about how they're going to try to win one of the next 9 races. But they really, they're not going to get into the mechanics of the cars. I get it, but the strategy of how they're going to win races was, like I say, managing tires and causing car crashes. And I was like, that's the B story. The A story is the show. The races.
Causing the crashes.
That was a 9 out of 10.
That's part of the, I guess,
intentionally causing crashes.
How to force the plot line and the dynamics.
Right.
But managing tires is extremely important, and it was addressed in.
Sean, are we going to make a major Hollywood motion picture called Managing Tires? Managing Tires in Races, and the sequel is going to be Managing Oil Pressure? Come on, man.
Okay.
They had to do better than that.
I'm gonna have to see this myself and see how over the top the managing the tires was.
And then and then the other thing is, and this is something you see in a lot of sports movies, is there's a lot of action in sports and we can't show the whole game or the whole competition, whether it's a football, baseball, rowing in a rowboat, whatever it is. How do we explain to the audience what is going on and who's winning and why it's important? You need somebody to tell the audience. And in a sports movie, the way they do that is they have the announcer, like the play-by-play guy, and it's like you're listening in on him doing the play-by-play, but really he's like Morgan Freeman, telling you what is going on so that you can actually follow the action on screen. It's a narrative device. And I thought, well, why don't they just have Morgan Freeman come in and tell the story of what's happening instead of this hokey play-by-play guy goes, well, now he's doing this, and the reason that's important is because, I'm like,
so it was as if you were watching the broadcast.
Is the idea. That's the idea. The other way that was done, I think I mentioned $1 Million Baby. To explain what was happening in that movie, they had the voiceover was done by Clint Eastwood. Like that's like, remember he was the manager, the boxing manager, and he actually explained. No, it wasn't actually. I take that back.
I don't remember a narrator in $1 Million Baby.
I take it back. It wasn't Clint Eastwood. It was who does all the voiceovers. What am I thinking? Who does all the voiceovers in all Hollywood movies?
Dennis Haysbert?
Morgan Freeman does all of them. And so Morgan Freeman, remember, he played the assistant boxing manager, and he did the voiceover. And I kept waiting for him to say, Andy Dufresne, the only one who crawled through. It was exactly the same thing, but that's better. I'd rather have Morgan Freeman saying, here's what's happening than some hokey play-by-play announcer trying to walk through.
So
but
you didn't.
The
you
race
liked the
sequences were
but
good.
you didn't like anything else. So what's your overall?
If
out of 10,
I think if you go see it at the theater, I'd give it a 7.
Okay,
maybe even an 8.
Well, that's pretty good.
It was,
it was worth your bucks.
Most people are not going to watch the movie with the critical eye that I would have, to say the least. I think most people are going to go and say, man, the action sequences were great. And they were. So, that'll get you a 7 out of 10.
Sarah and I watched Heads of State Friday night, which is on, I don't know, Netflix or something. And it's got Idris Elba, who plays the prime minister from England. And then you had, what's that? I'm going to forget the actor's name. John Cena, former wrestler.
Yeah.
Who's now an action star, comedic actor. Anyway, he plays the president of the United States, and these two hate each other. And he comes from, it's kind of like a young Arnold Schwarzenegger that was a movie star that becomes the president. And, it's this big international, weapons, espionage. Anyway, the action was so over the top, like not even believable at all. I mean, it was just, it was like watching, but there was some great comedic lines that were given. It was lighthearted. It was fun. It was exactly what it was supposed to be, right?
Which was cheap, meaningless calories for your 2 hours, right?
Right. So we watched that on Friday night. It was great. It was fun. It was deserving of a good review for its type of movie. So then last night we were trying to figure out what to watch, and we were going through critically acclaimed movies, and there was Midnight Run. Please tell me you've seen Midnight Run.
Sure.
Danny?
Oh, it's been forever since I've seen Midnight
Danny,
Run.
it's a must watch.
Yeah.
It's considered to be one of the best buddy movies of the 80s and 90s, but I would argue that it's one of the better ones of all time. I mean, it's really good. Robert De Niro plays a former Chicago police officer turned bounty hunter, Charles Grodin, who, in my opinion, is one of the all-time great comedic actors.
He's funny.
He was in Heaven Can Wait
Yep.
with Warren Beatty. He was the one. He played the character that was having the affair with Diane Cannon and trying to kill the character that Warren Beatty was inhabiting.
Again, yeah.
And then he was also the wife of Goldie Hawn in the Chevy Chase movie, Seems Like Old Times, which came out around 1980.
There was a time when Charles Grodin was in every. It seemed like he was in every lighthearted movie that came out for about 10 years.
Well, he quit acting in 1999, and he died a couple of years ago. But somewhere around 2014 or 15, he started doing some small roles again. I'm not really sure what was the deal of all of that, but such a great actor, and he makes the movie. And I was telling Sarah, I was like, you've got to really watch his facial expressions, his body language, whenever De Niro's character is talking or doing something, because it is superb comedy. And the thing that Sarah and I were talking about after the movie, she was just loved it, and she was like, I said, the wonderful part about this movie is there's no AI. There are no unbelievable stunts. Everything that happens is something that actually can happen. The writing was stellar. I mean, it was not campy. It was great. Joe Pantoliano plays. He played the bail bondsman. That was Charles Grodin was an accountant. If you've never seen the movie, who had stolen a bunch of mob money and played by the mobster that was acted by Dennis Farina. If you remember him, mustache, great guy. And so he has stolen like $15 million, kind of a Robin Hood kind of guy, gave a bunch of it to charity. The feds are after him. He skipped out on bail. So Joe Pantoliano's character, he pays, he promises to pay Robert De Niro to go find him. And so he's bringing him back from New York all the way to LA, and it's this cross-country jaunt, and other bounty hunters are looking for him and trying to steal him from De Niro, and the mob is looking for him, and the feds are looking for him. So it's a bunch of people after trying to get Charles Grodin's character. But the great part about it is that it's just it's one of those movies that you watch and you're like, that's the way making movies should really truly be, in my opinion.
It'd be great.
Yes.
If they would, but they write movies for teenagers, and teenagers don't go to see that. So you get a million superhero movies because
But the
of
truth
that.
of the matter is that the movie industry as a whole has changed because it's about the big budget blockbuster. Okay. And a movie like that is being made on a shoestring budget, and it's going to be considered, quote unquote, an independent these days. Oh. It's not going to be picked up and run in a bunch of theaters, and it's not going to get a ton of play. And so those movies,
word of mouth, baby,
word of mouth. And so they have to have these huge salaries and these huge budgets. I did find out today, just coincidentally, this Twitter site that I follow about movies, the movie was actually released 35 years ago this weekend.
I thought it was older than that, actually.
That would make it 1990. I think it came out in like 86 or 87, but that may be wrong. But what they talked about was something that I did know, and that was that Robert De Niro at the time had auditioned for the role that Tom Hanks got in the movie Big.
Really?
Yes.
They dodged a bullet there.
Well, so they ended up they wanted him, and his salary demands were too high. And they chose to go with Tom Hanks, who did not have as large of a salary demand. And so when he did not go to the movie Big, he was available and he ended up going to Midnight Run. Well, when the Golden Globes came around that year for comedic movie, guess who won the Golden Globes? Tom Hanks.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of old movies, I said something last week that you didn't agree with.
What's that?
I said that Star Wars and Top Gun 2 have the exact same ending, and you didn't buy it.
Star Wars and Top Gun 2.
Yeah. You remember Top Gun 2 that just came out?
Very well.
Yeah. Well, you know, I made
which is you beat
you
beat the evil empire.
Okay, all right. Well, here's, I wrote this out because I couldn't let it go. And those of you listening can play from home. Tell me which movie I'm describing. The movie ends with you have to fly an impossible mission through enemy artillery. You have to hit a target with pinpoint accuracy. And all the time you're on the communications with the base. They're monitoring you and they're giving you feedback. As soon as you drop your bomb, your payload, you have to go straight up into a vertical to get out of there at the last second. You just go straight up vertical to get out of there after you drop your payload. Oh, and guess what? It was a direct hit. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. Which movie was I describing?
Well, honestly, I had not thought about the parallel between those two.
I was watching it. I was watching Top Gun 2. I was watching it in the theater, and I'm like, my God, they stole this. I've seen exactly this before. All they need is Darth Vader, flying out into the...
No, you're right.
Yeah, and it would have been...
Now, I knew that you were talking
the same.
about Top Gun because you used the term vertical. They had the impossible climb up out of... Right. So many G's. Now, but the movie didn't end there in Top Gun because then, the young gun gets shot down and they had to go.
Well, that was an add-on. The big thing is over. And then they go to the part where it's just like, okay, now we got some loose threads. Let's wrap that up and get the hell out of here. By the way, F1, it was another 10 minutes of wrap. After we go through the big thing that happens at the end of the plot, then we got to go through 10 minutes of saying goodbye. Like all of the Fast and Furious movies, have you noticed this? After they do the big caper at the end, there's 10 minutes of them running into each other at the rooftop, where they're all eating.
Oh, where they're having the family eating.
And having the family eating.
With barbecue and corn salad.
Yes, and beer and, what are you going to do now? I guess I'll never
family.
see you again.
Toast about family.
That's 10 minutes of this. I got it. Look, I missed my calling. If I'd been a screenwriter, I would have been even more bitter.
If you don't want that kind of ending, go watch Midnight Run because at the very ending,
the ending is the ending.
It's over.
Yeah, the ending is the ending.
They say goodbye very quickly and bam.
Well, speaking of endings, Danny's giving us the high sign because we've reached the ending. So thanks for everybody who watched
today.
it.
All right,
who watched and played, and we will see y'all next week.
Yes.